Hello, everyone. This is Michael, the creator of the Missouri Pacific page. Got good news for all you guys that's been waiting for the Burlington Northern Lead-Built subdivision route to come out. It is now finished, and here in a day or two I'll have it ready for release. But we're going to do a little bit of a different kind of video this time, where I'm going to be showing parts of the route and kind of narrating as I go. So we'll see how this works out. Again, this is a part of the Missouri Pacific route of the Eagles, so this is attached to that route. This route here is about, I'd say 100 scale miles, maybe 150 scale miles long. It has several industries. The one you're looking at right now is a large industry that's on the route that is a pipe manufacturing plant. Okay, that's actually located on the subdivision, and they make a lot of pipes. The current route that I started working with, which was the old Osage route, I should say old BN Osage route, was, when I found it, was not finished. Had a lot of problems with it, and had no industries on it whatsoever. Now this is completely finished, added on to quite a bit, modified quite a bit. This has also got my whole, like I said, entire route on it. Got parts of just some of JR's old routes and all that. So let's go ahead and start taking looks at the route and go from there. Okay, beginning our route tour, we are now at BN Junction. I believe this is BN Junction South or North, one or the other. And we're at the beginning of the new route. This comes in on the old JR route. And it's about 6 miles west of my old route. That's where this is at. So, I don't know if you'll recognize it or not. So, anyway, so we're going to start moving down towards the new yard. Okay, we call this yard Brinkman Yard, and Brinkman Yard has everything. As you can see, there's a maintenance of way section right here, and it has ballast cars ready to go out. And also 40-foot track sections, jointed sections ready to go. And ballast and everything you would need to fix a quick derailment. Coming on down a little further is part of the maintenance section for the roundhouse, or for, should I say, the car shop, the engine shops. We installed a turntable here. I know there's not a whole lot of people that use these anymore, but thought it'd be kind of nostalgic to put it in, kind of neat. And you can see all kinds of old equipment here. All this is available either through payware or freeware from different various sites. A lot of it's jointed rail, a lot of it's our mods and other sites, but all of it is readily available. The town off to the right here is what we call Festus, Missouri, and it's a whole-size town. The yard itself is about 5,500 feet long, so it's a pretty good size long, about the whole length of the town. You move down here a little bit further, you can see a paint shop for the railroad engines. You can see straightening the railroad engines here being ready to be painted. As you know, the Montana Rail Link is no longer in service, so a bunch of these engines are coming back in to be serviced and painted back to BNSF colors. Here you see shipping and receiving. This would be the office for all this right here. Another maintenance of way office right here. And then here you would see the main diesel shops. As you can see, they're really busy. There's a whole lot of different equipment in here. Anything from old Frisco all the way up to current BNSF. I also see a caboose track right here. Figured that'd be real handy for you guys that still like cabooses. And let me see if I can pop inside the shops here. I don't know if I can do that or not. Hang with me. Not so easy to do, but the shops have got tools in it, engines being worked on. Pretty neat. Again, all this stuff can be found either on the download station or at Jointed Rail or at our mods. Needless to say, we're not going to be offering anything that is payware. We're going to be offering the map only, and I will be putting a site on our page for everybody that has queues. They're trying to find stuff they can't locate. I will tell you where to find it, but I cannot provide it for you. So, other engines being serviced. Here you see some Freds, some MU cables, some couplers. Everything they need to do to service the engines. Now, the main yard, which I'm quite proud of. The yard will house some very, very long trains. These tracks right here are tracks set aside for trains that are already made up. This would be main 2, main 1, and siding 1. And there's also a runaround right here that you can run around the whole complete yard from one end to the other and not interfere with switching movements, which is pretty neat. Something I tried a little different with this one is we put a drainage ditch under the yard. Kind of leaves a nice realistic touch, and runs under the town here, as you can see. And if you get down in the ditch, let me see if we can do that. Actually see all the way through it. I just can't get down into it right now. Oh look, an old BNSF blue engine known as the Smurf. Kind of interesting. As you can see, here is a BNSF coal train, what we call the Sykeston coal train. She's currently empty. She's ready to go back, be refilled. Here's our classification yard. These tracks here are set for inbound and then outbound. And then these are just different freight cars that are used by the different industries along this route. Something else we added, since I've gotten really good at building tunnels, is we have a bypass that goes all the way under the yard so you can get to one side of the yard to the other without worrying about trains blocking the crossings. And you can go all the way through it. It's not blocked off. Most of the textures that you see me using here are all on the download station, so they're really easy to use and find. Most of them are PBR. Okay, here is your car repair shops. Like I said, Brinkman Yard has everything you need. One-stop shop for railroading. This would be the South Tower. It's just a download station tower that's been modified a little bit. It's got a PTC antenna on it. Markings. Whole 9 yards. Kind of customized for this particular location. Yeah, Brinkman Tower South. And here is the offices for the car shops. You can see lots of wheel sets here being ready to be used. Here's some BNSF Santa Fe wreck cars ready to be repaired. I think some of you have already saw screenshots of this. But here is a 100-ton coal hopper that has been taken off of the flat car and it's getting ready to be lowered back down. Its truck's ready to be repaired. As you can see, we've got quite a few of these bandit cars, they call them. Some of these are all, most of these are all jointed rail, and some of them have been modified. You can find this, I think, on Jointed Rail's page also, either in the freeware. I think it's also on the download station. Get more cabooses. Now, there are some cabooses here that are custom that are not available. Like there's like one or two here. I think this back caboose is one of them. And then as you can see, some of the older equipment that's been taken out of the locomotives over the years. Older equipment ready to go to the junkyard. And same here. And if you come over here, you got shipping and receiving also. And then you can see they've got a new set of freight car truck wheels that have just come in. Ready to be taken off and put into service. This would be a machine shop. Offices for the machine shop. Here is the paint shops. This has been heavily modified to make this work. There's also equipment in it, as you can see. This is an old building from the days of VMD. I think it's still rarely available. I think it's even on the download station now. As you can see, I put a door on the back of it, and it's made so you can run the cars out of it, in and out. This pretty well portrays old freight cars that need to be repainted, coming in for new paint. As you can see, these are right here. You can even see PPG paint being ready to come off of this truck or trailer, being ready to be utilized. And then at the very end of the shop here is a steam engine facility. And as you can see, from K&L Steam Engines is the Frisco 1522. excursion train. Again, none of this will come with the route. It's available at other sites. Old nostalgic Frisco sign. Okay, as we get ready to leave the yard, we'll take a look back towards the other end of it. I had thoroughly tested this yard, and I did not find any problems with screen lag or anything like that, although I have a very beefy computer. Uh, some of the new uploads from NVIDIA nowadays with their new software for their video cards has improved the train game greatly. Plus, you want to make sure you have the latest service pack. You're looking at everything right now here in 22. 22 actually runs a lot better than 19. The performance is real good. So we're getting ready to move. A lot of hills. This would be in the Ozark Mountains. Coming into our first tunnel. And the highway wraps around the tunnel. This would be Highway 49. Take a look at the other tunnel face. I got to reset that block. The tunnel faces and the bluff stuff, or the cuts, are made with NARAM's rock materials. So they're pretty easy to use. This block needs to be reset. But besides that, as you can see, it makes for a pretty good tunnel entrance. The trees are all Profig trees, but are not Profig. They're speed trees, but they're awesome, the latest and greatest. And as you can see, we're not lagging in here a bit. Okay, going back the other direction, we come up to one of our first industries, and this is a chipwood plant. So they bring old logs that are not feasible for anything else, and they're taking down the chipwood and sawdust. And the building right here, which I believe is a JR building, is set up for making OSB strand board. And then some of the logs are separated, and the better ones are telephone poles. Again, I don't know exactly what's going on here. I'll have to look at it, but there should be a track right here. See some of the excess sawdust. So you can see they use a lot of cars here. Lots of detail. I don't believe I named this town, although it does have a sign for the business. This is from JR, Parker Creek Lumber and Timber Processing. Again, this is freeware from JR. JR has a lot of very good products. The famous Station 51. If you grew up in the 70s and the 80s, you probably remember this TV series. And this was the firehouse for that. It's Station 51. Also available on the download station. Okay, our next facility here. This is what they call a substation or a switch, where they can switch electricity from one path to another. And they are rather large, as you can see. The cool thing about these is if you look at the wiring, they actually attach to the actual substation, which gives it more detail. They've also built a berm or a levee around the substation so water does not get into it. Have a bridge right here. Another little convenience store and gas station. Oh, here's a product that I think my friend Jim built these. These are also freeware, or on our site. They're just a Bandit box cards. It's a Union Pacific version that they're using for storage. Moving on. Here's a little scene y'all might like. So here's a old Victorian house with the family having a party in the backyard. Great location for watching trains. Have your first passing sighting right here. And this would be the west switch at LaGrange. Yep, I said LaGrange. This can also hold some very long trains. You see another coal train empty, getting ready to come back. Okay, here is the depot or the yard office for LaGrange. Amtrak station. Trailer court with subdivision on the other side, and then if you go over this direction, you have Walmart's, Lowe's. This was something a lot of my guys that like my routes asked me to do, was do something that had street running. So I took the city of LaGrange, Kentucky, which I know the BNSF doesn't run through, and I incorporated that in here. Plus LaGrange does not have an industrial court, so we did add an industrial court for street running. And as you can see, there's all kinds of industry here. First one's right here. I'll get down here so we can get you a better shot. Have a big lumber yard here. Over here to the left, in this part of the country, our electrical utility is Ameren UE or Ameren. And this is one of their works headquarters right here. And Jim has built me a whole fleet of their trucks. As you can see, it says Ameren UE on it, and there's a bunch of other trucks and utility trucks in the facility here. It has Ameren markings. Here is an abandoned siding that used to go into this factory that is now closed. And then up here you have a scrap yard, and this one here is water treatment plant, and they use a lot of different chemicals right here to treat the water. And then we'll get back to the city of LaGrange. As you can see, the city of LaGrange is very detailed. It is pretty well spot on. My city is just a little bit larger than the actual city, but the downtown area is pretty well prototypical. I think LaGrange street run is about actually 3 blocks long, and I'm about 6 blocks here, so we're about double that. And the speed limit through LaGrange is 15 miles an hour. Alright, leaving the city of LaGrange, we're going back into the country. And we're coming up to our next tunnel. These tunnels are all courtesy of Quote Ghost. You can go over to his site. It's still there and open. They're freeware. They're a very good tunnel. You have to use dig holes, which are... It took me a while to learn how to use those. Alright, coming through the next tunnel. Here's the portal on the other side. And the next industry is actually Ameren's Miranda Power Plant, which is located down in the Madrid, Missouri. I'm sure you all heard a lot about the little city of Madrid, where the Madrid fault line originates. So here's Miranda right here. You can actually bring coal in from either direction. This is extremely detailed and very realistic. So these big ponds here are what they call cooling ponds. It's what they use to cool the plant down, or the boilers. And they're all man-made. Here's your coal. Also, thanks to Jim, that is Jim Fournette, BTV, FT. He took one of JR's power plants, and we also put Ameren on it too. Here would be your unloading facility at the power plant. Now, I don't know, a lot of you know a whole lot of how power plants work. This is a coal-burning power plant. And one of the materials that is a byproduct is what they call fly ash. And fly ash is used in a lot of different products, paint, you name it. But the fly ash has come in, it's loaded right here. And it usually goes into little 2-bay covered hoppers. It's very heavy once it's all loaded. Okay, here is a pond right here that they use whenever they go to blow out the boilers and clean the boilers. All the wastewater comes into here, and all of the coal and cinders, or not coal that can't be used, settles into this pond. And as you can see, they're in the process of dredging it right now. For a lot of you that live in the Midwest, a lot of your cities around here use what they call cinders to put on their roads in the wintertime to keep the ice and snow down. And that's what this is. So this is another product that comes from this power plant. And as you can see, there's a big loop that runs all the way around this. Nice bridge here crossing the tracks, so you don't have to worry about the trains keeping you from getting into the power plant. Little gas station for the employees. Plus, this is what we call Highway 49. And Highway 49 here runs throughout the whole entire route. Unlike other road systems that people put in their routes, this road system goes completely through. Here we see a Missouri Pacific run-through that has just got done switching and picked up some containers from the container yard here. Just another industry here. Another water treatment plant here. You hear you have a Love's truck stop. Figured that'd be a good fit here. Here's property for sale by the railroad. Now, this all may look familiar to you. This is JR's intermodal facility. It is payware, of course, so I can't give that to you. You know where to find this. You have to go over to JR's site and buy their intermodal facility, which I think is pretty cheap right now. And you can get this content over there with that. And plus, I've added on to it, needless to say. I put a little subdivision in here. Here's another modified control tower that Jim has helped me create just for the BNSF. The neat thing about this railroad here, you can run older trains on it too. You can run Old Burlington Northern. You can run Santa Fe. You can run anything you want. I mean, it's whatever you want to do with it. But as you go up and down the line, you'll see a lot of stuff that says Burlington Northern, Santa Fe, and Frisco. So this is what this all represents, is an old Frisco line. Have a farm over here. Coming into the city of Greenville. Greenville is an actual city in state of Missouri, although the railroad doesn't run through it. It did many years ago. It was Timber Railroad, but now it's gone. But its roots did start back as a Santa Fe, not a Santa Fe, but as a Frisco operation. Town has a few little industries in it. Here you have ready mix plant. A lot of this content is from JR. Couple nice baseball diamonds here. Big grain elevator. Very high detailed, by the way. All high detailed. Here are the offices for the grain elevator. And then here on the other side is where the product is bought in to be taken out by the railroad. Okay, even got a Randy's Donuts. I think you guys remember Randy's Donuts out of Iron Man 2. Aldi's. That's a download station product. This gas station is jointed rail. Freeware. Almost everything you see here is freeware. Okay, as you get ready to leave town here, you see another track paralleling the main. This is for expansion, but this would be going to a different town that would be something like set up in the way of Eagle River. This would be US 60, which is a real highway in southern Missouri. Coming up to another tunnel. Take a look at the river here. See the river bottom is quite detailed. All nice PBR textures, courtesy of the download station. I think a guy named Johnny C makes most of these textures. Pretty neat bridge. Here's the other side of the portal. Again, Highway 49 running underneath it. And here's something you used to see the railroads do many years back that they don't do anymore. They would actually mark their bridges where the highways would run under them, so you would know what railroad you were going under. Right now, this one's got the Burlington Northern. I didn't have access to any Prisco markings for the bridges, or we would have put that on there. And we may update that as time goes on. But this track here going under, just dead ends back here, it's for later expansion. You could use this for storage if you wanted. Most of these backdrops you see are courtesy of Dave Snow. Moving on down the line. See the maintenance away crew working on the signals. South Switch at Bricky's. This is Bricky's, Missouri. And here at Bricky's, the only industry they have is a automobile storage area. So automobiles that are coming in to the middle part of the United States usually have some storage areas where they're unloaded off the railroad, and this happens to be one of them. See, it's also very detailed. Also has a name. Thanks to JR. Yeah, State Line Rail Transportation Hub. These auto carriers here are courtesy of SAP. He did a really good job on these. And these are loadable, by the way. I'll show you here in a minute what one looks like. As you come down here, you can see where the cards have been taken off the auto racks and are ready to be transported. Some of you may notice these ramps. The only difference is these have been retextured by Jim Fournette. And here's one of these new car carriers loaded. And then here's the one behind it that was available here for years and years and years. Okay, coming into the main part of Bricky's. See, they have a firehouse, gas station, and Kentucky Fried Chicken, and McDonald's, everything a little town would have. And as you can look right here, something that everybody's told me that they really like are the highway markings. As you can see right here, these are available on the download station. As you can see, it shows Highway 49, Highway 104 going off to the west. All the crossings, by the way, do work. Are automated. Coming into another ridge that the railroad's got to go through. Coming into some farm country. Now these backdrops you see here, them are from one of the guys over at JR. Did a very good job on these. Let me pull up on it a little bit more. Yeah, these are designed for if you don't want to put a whole lot of boards in on one particular area. They work as very good backdrops. Now, coming to the biggest town on this route, which is Silver Shores. Silver Shores is a town that does not exist, one I just made up. But you can see they have a regional airport. And a nice Amtrak station. This is the second Amtrak station that we have passed. There was also one at LaGrange. So for you Amtrak lovers, you've got plenty of Amtrak stations down here to run through. Hotel here for the people getting off and on their flights. Residential over here to the left. And here's the railroad yard, pretty small. But this town has more railroad industry than any town on the whole entire route. It is huge. Has about a dozen different industries. See one here. Another one here. Food refrigeration here. Another food processing here. Not exactly sure what they do there. Propane distributions here. Another food warehouse. And my most favorite one on here is by SAP. And this is a facility that brings in hogs. It's where your bacon and pork steaks and all that good stuff comes from right here. As you can see, they use a lot of refrigerated box cars. Your hogs will come in on this car right here. And then this yard also is kind of like an overflow. As you can see, there's some gondolas here that are for the brick yard, which is further down here. And then you see this building here. You see this old Frisco boxcar sitting here in the weeds. At one time, there was a siding that went into this warehouse. But now this is basically a cross dock for FedEx. Have a Freightliner dealership here. Have a railroad siding going into it. Here is the brick factory. This is cast and brick and block. And the only product they turn out here are bricks. And the bricks come out of this clay pit here. Like I said, lots of stuff to do on here. You could actually take a crew and switch this all day long and still not be done with it. Lots of shopping over here on the other side of the railroad yard. Most of these strip malls are from the download station. Some of them are from third-party sites, like the back shops, and then the switchback. Again, for those of you that buy the route and you can't find some of this stuff, I'm going to leave a page just for guys that have missing cues. And I welcome everybody to join in. If you know what that cue is, please let your fellow railroader know and know where he can find it. If not, I will let you know. Another Walmart's. This is from the back shops, by the way. Very good Walmart's. I don't know, that may be from SAP. I'm not sure. One or the other. How many of you remember Radio Shack? For you young guys, you won't know that one. Again, this is Silver Shores. Which in the Ozarks, there's a lot of big lakes, a lot of tourism, and this is a pretty neat scene right here. When you animate all this, there's a lot of water that comes up here, a lot of mist, and the water is actually moving right here. So it'll be Silver Shores Dam. And the city gets its water from right here too, because there's their water intakes right here. Pretty good sized lake. We'll cross it again here in a minute. Small little subdivision. The whole entire right of way, by the way, is elevated, just like you would find in modern railroading. And the reason they do this is to keep moisture off of the ties, and for reasons where they're going through low areas, that it will keep the right of way from flooding. Alright, for railroads crossing big lakes like this, they call these causeways. And this one is very nice, very detailed. Silver Shores would be back that direction. Again, this is Highway 49. Here is a throughway, or a bypass for the boats. And here we have a slide fence. There are a couple different variations in the game. I think this is one of the better ones. This is, again, freeware on the download station. This bluff texture is a spline that's also available on the download station. Coming up on the right here is the famous Dutton Ranch, or Yellowstone. We are now about halfway through the route. And this is just the Frisco route. It's got nothing to do with the Missouri Pacific route, although this is a part of it. Okay, this is an important spot on the railroad. You're now coming into the town of Salem, and this is the end of where the Osage route ended right here. In fact, there was a fake tunnel right here it went into, and you can see I've modified all this. Also, in this part of the country, there are a lot of low bridges for the railroads. As you can see, though, semi just barely gets under there. He's got about 3 to 4 feet clearance there. Again, showing the railroad, showing the highway. Or we're going to leave 49 now, and we're going to go up 19. This is Salem Yard. This was on the old Osage route. It's been modified, needless to say. I basically made the sidings on either side of it longer so you could do some decent switching. And then I added this industry here. There was a lumber yard here, but there was no way to, there was no railroad spur here. So I did add this. All right, leaving Salem. All these highways I added too. This was not there. Pretty well cleaned up some of these creeks and streams that didn't really do anything. Okay, now for one of the biggest industries on the route, which is a reason the railroad was built in the first place. This here is Doe Run Company. And Doe Run actually mines lead out of the ground. This is why they call this part of the country the Lead Belt. This is where this subdivision got its name, the Lead Belt sub. So I'll tour it a little bit here. Employee parking would be here. They would actually go into the mine right here, as you can see. Nice, a lot of detail. And then the product would either be brought out by conveyor or these dump trucks. It would be processed either into lead pellets and loaded into these gondolas. Now for this big building right here, there was actually a lead smelter here also. So they did they did process some of the lead here. And the lead would come out here in big ingots, in 1-ton ingots. And they would load them onto box cars like you see right here. So needless to say, a lot of these trains that came out of here that were extremely heavy. When they loaded these cars up, I think it only could take like 30 out of here, on one train, because of just the sheer weight volume. You're talking pure lead almost at this point. Here's the town of Viburnum. Again, this was from the old Osage route, but there was nothing but a big field here at the time. No industry, nothing. Little convenience store, like trading post right here. Little subdivision here. Little spring-fed lake. Now, a lot of guys that's seen this route already has said, "Hey, how come the lakes just come up out of the rocks here?" And these are actually springs. There are spring-fed lakes. There are places down in southeast Missouri in the Ozarks where some of the biggest springs in the world are. One is Mammoth Springs, which is in the city of Mammoth, which is on the Burlington Northern route. That's the Thayer sub. And then there's also Big Springs, which is right at the city of Van Buren. And it's a state park, and it is huge. It's like a massive river just comes up out of the ground, right near the bluff. And that's what these would represent. Because if you follow them, as you can see, there's no other river beyond this point. And that's what them were supposed to represent. Another tunnel. By far, this route has more tunnels than anywhere else on my route. I think there's like 8 tunnels here. Nice rock cut here. Again, these rock products here is by NARAM, so you'll have to go over there to get them. Now, some of the screenshots I released of this, guys were looking at this, and they were questioning why does the road go up so abruptly? And if you traveled around in the Ozark Mountains, some of the roads are as much as a 40-degree angle, believe it or not. In the wintertime, a lot of this was impassable. And that's what I represent Highway 19. Now, this road was not built or even thought of whenever it was the old Osage route. I put this road in here myself. Again, this is Highway 19. Nice long passing siding here. The good thing about this route, you can run some really nice modern long trains on this. Okay, coming up to our next siding, our next customer. This is a tie loading facility, which there are a lot of these along the different railroad lines in southern Missouri, because there are a lot of factories down here that produce a majority of the railroad ties that come out of this part of the country before the railroads are produced. It comes out of these areas right here. And this is one of these areas. The texture on this is just great for this. Another low bridge. Now, this road was here, I think. I just got kind of added on to it. This gas station was here. I just kind of fixed it up a little bit. I'll let the computer catch back up here. We're about 3/4 of the way through the route right now. Well, maybe not 3/4, a little less than that. Okay, coming up to one of the other largest industries on this route. This is what we call Maverick Tube, or Maverick Pipe, which is an actual company here in Missouri, and all they produce is iron pipe, all different kinds of sizes. Oh, and the majority of the track here is procedural track, and I think it's made by RTX, and I've had some success with it. The switches are kind of touchy to put in. I do know one thing: your track level must be exact for your switches to work right. Okay, we'll take kind of a little tour around here. Here's the railroad office for Maverick Tube, or Maverick Pipe. These signs courtesy of Jim Fournette. Shipping and receiving. Main manufacturing. You can see a lot of different pipes there. Needless to say, a lot of this pipe is made by coil steel. So this is one product that gets used up. And here's some plate steel here. See, very detailed. Here is the scrap yard that this place produces, that's taken out by railroad. Here you see the local switcher doing his job. And here is a RR Mods GP15. I think that's still available. I know recently RR Mods has did a lot of changing on their site. If you would like that engine and you can't find it, you may want to contact them. And it may be on their archives page. This was payware at one time. Again, like I said, they did change a lot of their stuff around, so I don't know what status this engine is right now, even if it's still available. Frisco had a lot of GP15s when they came out. A lot of railroads used these. This is just a retention basin pond for all the water that washes off of their storage area and all that. It's put into what they call a retention basin here, and then allowed to drain out a little at a time. And then here is the power station, or substation. Excuse me. Substation for this facility. If you follow these transmission lines out, they're all interconnecting, by the way. Here's the little town of Bixby. If you look up Bixby, Missouri, online, you will see a old caboose, mop caboose, sitting right by their gas station. Exactly how you see it here. And it is an old mop caboose, not a Frisco caboose, which is kind of strange. Here is the last tunnel on this route. Computer's still trying to play catch up. We're now coming to the end of the Lead Belt sub. See a small little municipal airport here. Mostly catering to crop dusters, that sort of thing. Now, I know a lot of you are going to see this Huey and ask me where it came from. And I'm going to tell you right now, I got this several years ago. I don't know where it came from. I can't remember. And I'll have to look on it if I can release it or not. But as you can see, it's extremely detailed. And it's a nice, very nice model. Even has a pilot in it. Alright, coming into the city of Steelville. This is the end of BN Junction, or the end of the BN route. BN Junction North here. That was Junction South where we started. And this comes into the current Missouri Pacific route right here. Again, this is the city of Steelville. And right here you happen to be on a huge coal reversing loop right here. And some of you may remember this, some of you may not, but this was one of JR's first attempts at doing HL scale modules. They did a very good job on it, but as you can see, I took everything off to make it. It had table legs on it, skirting, the whole 9 yards, and needless to say, it doesn't look like that no more. This is the main area right here, you may remember. I think they just re-released this. I think this is still available. I know the buildings are and all that from them. And if you come over on the other side, which they never did do, this is all mine. And here's the other coal mine. So this is two sources of coal for your power stations, or there are about 6 on the whole entire route, and there are a total of 4 coal mines. So needless to say, these coal mines stay nice and busy. Here's another train waiting to get loaded. It would be a MOP DRG train. Again, this is no longer on the Leadbelt route. This is on the current DeSoto sub. So, anyway, that's going to end our route tour. If you have any questions, feel free to PM me or email me. The route will be for sale for $25 through PayPal. And I think there's another Cash App. There's Cash App you can use if you want to also. The only thing that we're going to be releasing is the map. So what the map does is, the map, which, I mean, you probably got, majority of you've probably got 3/4 of the assets that you're going to need already for this route. By no means will you not be able to run the route if you're missing content. You can still run the route. It's just there will be places where there'll just be vacant lots, or there may not be any textures. But majority of the textures are all pretty much from the download station, so you shouldn't have any problem with the textures or the track. The track is all freeware. It's from Jointed Rail. It's on their freeware page, and I think some of this track now is on the download station too. Anyway, thank you for watching. The route should be available here in the next couple of days. Stay tuned, and I will put it up when it's ready to go. Thank you.